Alright, so I'm gonna make this video as quick as I possibly can. I just want to kind of summarize what's gonna be going on in the type soul update, so when you guys actually get into the game, you don't spend too much time looking around to find out what you have to do. The purpose of this video is to get you to hop into the game and know exactly what you're gonna go for first, because you know exactly everything that's gonna come out. There are a lot of things that we don't actually know if they're gonna be in the game or not, and most of the things I'm gonna talk about in this video are gonna be from the fake update log from April 1st. Another content creator called Shredzy, who's more intelligent than I am, actually deciphered which ones are most likely gonna be real or not. And in this video I'm gonna go over what's gonna be real or not, and also add my 2 cents to let you guys know what you guys should expect in the game. Before we hop into the fake update log, I do want to mention one thing real quick. But right before we hop into the fake update log and what's real and what's not, I do want to talk about the main purpose of this update if you haven't been up to date with all of Cetro's leaks and news. So about 5-6 months ago, Type Soul originally shut down, and it was only supposed to be shut down for like a week or two for a very simple maintenance for Hellverse. They just needed to test out Hellverse, make sure everything was all good for the 2 weeks, and then we were supposed to be back in the game. However, Cetro decided to actually overhaul the entire game and not just add Hellverse. He just wants to switch up. He wants to basically make a new game with the type soul that we know as the base of that game. So a lot of your favorite features or a lot of features you don't like may have been removed and replaced with other features, because this is basically a whole new overhaul of the game. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I do think it's going to be really refreshing to hop into the new type soul, because it's going to be something different. But then again, 6 months is kind of a crazy wait, but now that we've already waited that 6 months, it feels worth it. But like, just to be real with y'all, man, 6 months is kind of crazy, especially when you already have the game developed. You just have to add something that they've already been working on, and they delayed so many updates because they're claiming that they're working on Hell. If you've actually been working on it for that long, you don't need an additional 6 months of the game being closed for you to work on it. I'm assuming there were some difficulties or some problem with staff, but then again, that's just poor management, and again, that's their fault. But still, there's nothing we can really do. So that's why the game is closed down. Now, what's going to be added once the game does come back up is Hellverse and Soul Wars. That's the main 2 things that are going to be coming out. Like I said, the whole game is going to be overhauled completely, but the 2 main content updates that are going to be dropping are Hellverse and Soul Wars. I just want to make that clear. Everything that's going to be mentioned from now on in this video are just going to be additions to Hellverse and additions to Soul Wars. So things like reworks, the new races, everything like that is going to be additions to Hellverse and Soul Wars. Soul Wars is stated that it could literally be its own game, like that's how advanced and that's how like different it's going to be. So this is basically just a very massive content update that basically overhauls the entire game, and we're basically getting a new fresh experience. And now we can talk about the fake update log. No surprise that this is a huge update and there's a lot of things coming out, and for the sake of your time, I'm going to go ahead and summarize everything that's going to be coming out. But before we do that, I do want to go over what's going to not be coming out. So we all know when Cetro dropped the fake update on April Fool's, there was a lot of things in the release date that were fake, but then after he deleted it about an hour later, he said that there were some things in the update log that were real. So my job right now is just to tell y'all what was real, what was fake, and any new information, sneaks, and things we have since that video was made, since it was made all the way back in April and it is now July. Now, for what is not coming out, the new bounce race, which is, there's just no way they're just gonna add a new race out of nowhere with no sneaks, no community demand, nothing. Hell exclusive races could be getting added to the game, but I highly doubt it. The Phoenix nerf, definitely a troll. Back in the day, people were spamming nerf Phoenix in the general chat, like that was just a meme. Keto changes, I could see this being real, but there's nothing really wrong with Keto right now. It's not too broken. It is a little bit like inconsistent, but there's nothing really overall wrong with Keto. I don't know why they would change that. Airwalking, I don't think it's going to be dropping. And what I really want to talk about is the Battle Royale mode. Now, I don't think Battle Royale is going to stay in the game when the game does drop. Battle Royale was cool for the first week it was out. With the content creator tournament was cool. I was supposed to play in it, I didn't. There's also a mention in the update log about a Battle Royale Battle Pass, which I think is very unlikely. I don't think anyone's going to play BR when Hell drop. And in general, these are the things that I don't think will be coming out from this update log. Okay, now let's actually get into what's going to be confirmed content. So there's going to be 2 new races, which I believe are already confirmed by Cetro, which are Ancient Vastokar and Fullbringer. Fullbringer is literally going to be a new, like, you just make a new slot and you become a Fullbringer the same way you become a Quincy, Aran Car, or a Soul Reaper. And for Ancient Vastokar, I do think it is a little bit like unique. I think it's going to be connected to the Ikami Kido mythical clan for Aran Cars, which I think could be pretty cool. New area, Hellverse. So it's going to be a multi-layered map, just like debunking. It's going to be Ring 1, Ring 2, Ring 3. And there's going to be new quests and raids exclusive to the Hellverse, and then also important for lore and quest progression. Hell is the main focus of this update. We all know Hell is dropping. There's a lot of info on Hell that we have right now, a lot of reworks that we have coming with Hell, maybe wiping slots, which I don't think is going to happen, but there are rumors about that. Hell is just a big, it's a whole 10-minute video on its own, to be honest. But Hellverse will definitely be dropping in this update. We know that for a fact. Every race will be getting its own true form, which I did make a video on every single one. True Bankai, True Segunda, and True Sclaverai. The Fierce Sclaverai is insane, I'm not gonna lie, and Sclaverai in general is crazy. The whole concept of it is you literally enslave the other person. How they're gonna make this work is gonna be kind of crazy if they actually make it accurate to the show, but Sclaverai in Bleach is insane. Another thing that's interesting in the update log that I do think could be real is soul books. So they're gonna be books that drop randomly and contain story lore and gameplay clues. And I think they're gonna make some books required to unlock quests. You're gonna have to bring it back to an NPC for Hellverse, etc. And I also think 100, this is almost guaranteed, there's gonna be a dungeon thing where there's an unlimited amount of rooms and all the rooms are confusing. Kind of like the Infinity Castle in Demon Slayer, if y'all ever seen that, where it's just a never-ending dungeon. You go through it, you get through, you could scale the difficulties, and it's just gonna be hard and fun overall. This update, I would say, is more geared towards PvE, definitely, because Type Soul, I'm not gonna lie, after a certain point, it just becomes a PvP. It's literally just a straight PvP game. The PvP is so good that it gives a lot of replayability, but we need more PvE in the game, and this update is gonna solve that problem, definitely. Okay, and then ranked and clan wars are gonna get merged into one mode, and then the old point system is gonna be removed. And then every month you're gonna get elo resets, and you're gonna get rewards given per match. I'm kind of ranked right now, but there's gonna be merged into one mode. How they're gonna do that, but I do believe they could do that. Now let's talk about Soul Wars. There's gonna be a new game mode called Soul Wars, and in this game mode, it's gonna be a 6v6 team-based game mode, and they're gonna play as lore-based characters with 50 plus characters rumored. We only got shown 9, so 50 is kind of crazy. I don't know if you're gonna play with your own character or with other characters that you can purchase, but I do in the update log does say you can purchase the characters with Khan. This does sound really cool, I'm not gonna lie. Like imagine you and all your boys running 6v6 in Soul Wars. Now let's talk about the reworks. I may make a video on the reworks by themselves because the reworks are actually a big part of this game. Like this, a rework is basically adding a new Shikai to the game, damn near. Theater, Devil, Spirit, and Lightning will all be getting reworks confirmed in the game. Benihime, I believe, will also be getting a rework as well. There are a lot of other things that will be getting rework, but these are the main 5, I would say. Theater, Devil, Spirit, Lightning, and Benihime. Again, these will probably get their own video from me, so you guys can subscribe for that. Next up, we got additional combat changes. Damage fall off added, ranged abilities now do less damage from afar. Okay, so now if you do a ranged attack from far away, it's actually gonna be real physics, and basically what it's gonna do is, let's say you're like far away from somebody and you hit them with like a projectile. That projectile will do less damage, which is accurate to how it would actually be if you're fighting in real life or like in the Bleach show. Usually it was no matter how far you are, as long as the move hits them, does the same amount of damage, but now it's going to be more realistic physics, which also carries on to the next thing, which is when you get launched by a move that actually affects the player rig, you're going to stay on the ground for a little bit, you're going to be stunned. Last thing we're going to talk about before my personal favorite thing in this update log is going to be Vows. So Vows are basically just a new mechanic that acts as a buff or a debuff. They're basically like blessings and curses, and they'll probably be earned through quests during Hellverse. They'll also be adding a tutorial system for new players, but we don't really care about that. Let's talk about my favorite thing in this entire video, in this entire update log, which is the medic skill tree rework. If y'all didn't know, bro, I'm the medic guy, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there are a few other YouTubers who talked about medic who do play medic. I probably have the most medic videos on YouTube. And I'm just like the medic advocate. That's what I'm a self-employed medic advocate. So many videos on medic, so many builds on medic, so much gameplay with medic. Every single Type Soul video I have for the last year, 50% or more of them have medic gameplay in the background, including this one. Medic is rumored to have a new skill tree that costs 65 points to unlock. Usually only goes up to 60. So after 60, you get the final move for that skill tree. For medic, they're gonna add a new 65.1. And I'm not gonna lie, Shredzy did say in the video that this makes healers viable. Healers have been viable, my boy. But yeah, this is basically everything that's going to be dropping in this Hell update. I'm not going to lie to you guys, bro. This update is looking pretty huge. And these are just the big things. Like, these are just the things that we had in the video. There's going to be a lot more reworks, a lot more balance changes, a lot more things that are going to be added that we don't even know about. I would say 60% of this update we know, and the other 40% is just ambiguous. We actually have no clue what's going to be actually coming out in the game. These are just the guaranteed things that are going to be coming out. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.